Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Larry Bodenheimer and today we're taking a look at RemcosRAT. RemcosRAT is a piece of malware that's been out for quite a while, but similar to DCRAT, RemcosRAT has new samples and variants coming out all the time, including today. Before we do anything else, we do have the folder with the malware over here. This is the executable itself, as well as the MD5. I know some of you like to use the MD5 to follow along with the video or to analyze afterwards. So if you're one of those people, please feel free to pause the video and resume once you have this noted down. Now with that out of the way, let's go ahead and pull this up on VirusTotal. So we have 58 detections. On the one hand, this was last analyzed today, I believe. Yeah, it was analyzed today, which is a massive L for the malware writer. However, it does say that this creation time was actually about a month and a half ago. Usually, I don't really believe things like that, especially because, it's been out in the wild for a month and a half before anybody submitted it to VirusTotal. Not usually how that works, but in this case, I'm willing to believe it because, if it was just submitted today and it has 58 detections, that's pretty abysmal. Abysmal to the point where I'm not necessarily ready to believe that it wasn't created a month and a half ago. So, kind of a weird situation here, but it is what it is. So let's take a look at who does not detect this. If we look at who does, it would take way too long. There's only 15 companies that don't detect it, and out of those, we have Palo Alto Networks, and that's the only big name. I don't even see Webroot here. Yeah, Webroot detects it as Remcos. Look at that. All right, Webroot users, you get your W for the day. We'll go to details. Here is your MD5, your SHA-1, and your SHA-256. We'll go down, creation time. First submission was today. Last submission was today, about an hour ago. Last analysis was not too long ago either. So here are the names. It doesn't actually seem to have a file name, just a random string, which is the one that I have. And then we have one that has .dat-decod. All right, we go to relations. We have one contacted URL, geoplugin.net. Now, I am not going to show this on the channel because the good news is I realize this is a geolocator that works, so I can't open it on the channel and dox myself on YouTube. The bad news is I did not realize this existed before I ran the malware in testing. And the writer most likely has my IP, and this does actually show your geolocation down to 4 decimal points. Yeah, that's a womp womp. We have 3 contacted domains, geoplugin.net, ugenarv.duckdns.org, and then Microsoft. 5 contacted IP addresses, 1 out of the Netherlands, and then 1 out of the United States, which has a lot of detections, and then Google DNS, which still has a detection from that company I showed in the video earlier today. Bundled files, but they've all either come back clean or have not been scanned, and 2 dropped files, which both come back clean. Again, we don't spend much time on behavior on this channel, but if you'd like to take a look for yourself, now is your chance to do so. You can pause the video. Sandbox Zenbox flags this as malware, stealer, phishing, Trojan, evader, rat. We have 1 critical and 1 low crowdsourced Sigma rule. And we have 1 high and 2 low crowdsourced IDS rules. And of course, if we go to community, Jaffa Cakes was here an hour ago, of course. And so was Crew88. Carlos Cabal, Crew88, AnyRun, Pedic, and Jaffa have all left comments. So let's show the tools that we have open for today. We have Process Monitor, Process Hacker, Wireshark, and Fiddler Classic. I'm going to go ahead and reset these so we don't have a bunch of red herrings in the way, because that's a lot. 23,000? No, I'm good. And without any further ado, let's get Process Hacker open. Last thing we're going to do is look at the properties for the file. no certificate, and if I go to details, no information, not even a file version. So now, let's run the malware. Run as administrator, and we can see that it does open over here. If we take a look at Wireshark, we should start seeing a bunch of connections soon. 7412534446. And then there should be another one. Yes, I'm pretty sure this is it. The 192.1.1.254. If we take a look at Wireshark, it should be one we've already seen. Yeah, it's this one right here, the one with the most detections. So while it's doing its thing, I'm going to put this in a window, and we're going to take a look and see if we can connect to that IP address. So we're going to do 192.3.101.254. It's most likely going to return a connection refused or a timed out, but I always like to look at these IPs and see if we get to see something cool. So while that's doing that thing, let's go back to Wireshark and see if it pulls up anything else that looks suspicious. File is still running, by the way. Doesn't seem to have opened any child processes or anything like that. We've got a 6.1.4. What else have we got? 34.120.208.123. 162.159.614. I'm not seeing any resets or any retransmissions. 74.125.21.113. And yes, we have a connection refused from this IP address. So if we go back down here, I don't see a 74 in the contacted IP addresses. So could be a red herring. And now we've got some retransmissions from this 192.3.101.254. So let's keep looking. There it is again. And there's more retransmissions and a reset from 34.36.165.17. And then also one from this suspicious IP. Got a 20, that's most likely fine. What else? What else do we have? These are MDNS, we could ignore that. Don't see anything else that's just, like, jumping out at me right now. But I haven't been looking over here either, so I definitely could have scrolled by something that we were supposed to have noticed. 162.159. Let's go ahead and just Google these IPs. File is still running. Matter of fact, I'm going to minimize Firefox so we can still see it at the bottom while I'm doing this. We have one that is 178.237.3350. Tell you what, before we do that, let's take a look and see if there's anything in HTTP. It looks like the only things we've got in HTTP are... Oop, that's the wrong one. My bad. Are the tile service for Microsoft. Tile service again. And then Digicert. And yep, there it is. So there's that geoplugin.net. So he do be having not my whole address, but he do be having a general idea of where I live. Not gonna lie. And then we've got a JSON approved here, so that's just the same. All right. Let's take a gander at those IPs now. I guess I could also not Google, but I guess I can also take a look and see if we actually got any packets for the 178. 178.237.3350. Oops. 50. And we did. I just missed them. And this ties in to the Geo plugin. Right, so I will not be looking at any of that, because I don't want to dox myself any more than I may have already done. But let's try the 23.216.81.152. Bring a new window over here. 23.216.81.152 is invalid. Sure. Whatever you say. But this is the This is the C2 server, most likely. Out of the US is kind of crazy. And this is the one for the JSON, which is out of the Netherlands. Let's take a look at this IP really quick. Colo Crossing. Detected by AlphaSoc, Bitdefender, Cluster25, CRDF, SciRadar, GData, Malware URL, Ionic, and Viper. And suspicious by Alpha Mountain. Okay. Here's the whois lookup, so I don't have to do it myself. Thank you. Comment geofeed. 325 Delaware Avenue in Buffalo, New York. Accidental DOS, my bad. Google results, malware URL, bad IP webbot. It's on abuse.ch as well. List of IP addresses on IPshoe. IP address information and lookup, and then something in French. I do not be speaking French. And as we can see, this user has also already commented Remcos found on this defanged IP on port 9674. We could try that. Probably going to get the same response, but 9674. The server did not return a complete response for this request. Server returned 0 bytes. Interesting. I need to get some tools that will take a look at what ports have been opened. That might be useful for future videos. And this was last analyzed only 13 minutes ago as well. But honestly, that's all we need to take a look at. This one was easy to analyze. I mean, we could take a look at process monitor and see what files have been dropped. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go to process name is, and I'm not typing all that, so we're just going to go to rename. Oops. Come back to me. Control A, Control C. And we're going to go back to the process monitor. Excuse me, I don't know where that cough came from. We're going to add that, and then we're going to go to operation is create file. Yes. And we do have some created files. Okay, here's the prefetch, which has been deleted. I have to expand that pretty far. Alright, there's the executable again. We've got some new DLLs, URL mon.dll, winmm.dll, wininet.dll, iRtutils, servcli, netutils, .exe.mun, .dlo. It needs to be something that just jumps out at me, though, and I'm not really seeing anything like that. It is cool to see more and new DLLs, but they're still not jumping out. We do have this in inetcache. It says success. Is it still there? Yes, it is, and that was that dropped file, which I believe it said had no detections. Yes, these two dropped files have no detections. So that .json detection 0, and then the other one's not here. I don't know what these breaking news things are. Oh, it's probably from this little tool down here. I wonder why it dropped in inetcache. Interesting. And then we just got history. So that's all there is to look at. Shorter video, I know, and I apologize, but we've already taken a look at all there is to see. If you go to Fiddler, the only HTTP things it should be picking up are my failed connections, and then the one from the Netherlands with geodata, but it's not even picking that up, I don't think. But that's going to be it. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you guys are new to the channel, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you are new, and comment down below if there's anything I didn't do that you guys want to see for future videos. My name is Larry Bodenheimer, you guys have been amazing, and I will see you in the next one.